afternoon, Siddhartha. I am Bhavyashri, and I'm the core member of IlluminatiX. With me, we have Akshay, and he's also a core member of IlluminatiX. It is truly a pleasure to have you here, and we are excited to hear about your internship journey and the valuable experiences and insights that you have to share with us and everyone watching this.
So my name is Siddharth, and I'm from the XIM MBA batch of 24-26. So I did my internship from Amazon, and the role that I was chosen was program manager intern. And I was part of RPE team, which is the Relay Product Excellence, which is basically deals with the risk management of middle mile. So it has like multiple programs like driver identity verification, carrier identity verification, and strategic programs and others. So I was like dealing with multiple problem statements in different programs. So this was about my internship, like the brief intro, and I also converted a PO after the internship. I had like three problem statements, like one after other. Like first, initially I was given one problem statement. Then, as the time progressed, I asked my management and I asked my manager to give me work. So the first one was where I had to find bottlenecks for one of the workflows that they currently had, which was related to customer query and customer for this particular program. The customers are not the end customers, but the customers are the carriers or the owners of the fleet that Amazon owns. The Amazon usually in USA and Europe, Amazon don't own the fleet directly, they outsource the fleet. So these are called the carriers. So I was like finding the bottlenecks and suggesting them what better they can do in that field. Then second problem statement was I had to build a shrinkage tracker, which is basically used to measure the efficiency of the workforce for one of the programs. So this I had to use basic Excel and Excel formulas to build it, and I had to also make it dynamic. They had an initial version which was kind of static, and it was not able to get all the changes. Then when I kind of tried to make it dynamic so that even though there'll be changes in the future, it'll still adapt for it. And my third problem statement was to identify SOP inconsistency for one of the programs, and where I had like analyzed around 1800 odd cases and suggested what are the changes which are required for that SOP. Yeah. First thing would be the rigor that we had in our first year. I think it really helped me to like adapt in the Amazon. Like there's a saying in Amazon that it's always day one. Like you always make it like you're always like staying curious and trying to learn and make every day as your first day. So like you're never out of motivation, and it happened XIMB as well. Like every day you find new challenges, you find new things coming in your way. So the culture was pretty similar to that, and the rigor in XIMB helped in that way. And the other thing would be it may not show directly, but the whatever we study in our academics, some way the frameworks or the strategy frameworks or the operation frameworks or the marketing frameworks that we study, it inherently like affects us our thinking. In that way, it affects our thinking and the way we approach our problem, a certain problem, how we approach and all. These framework, they they inherently they affect us in such a way. So basically when I deal with, like, I also participate in a lot of case competitions in first year. So I had this one framework that I figured out for myself. So whenever I get a problem statement, the first thing I would do is to understand the problem and to understand how big the problem is. Like usually this is a thing that most of the people do not do, to understand like how big the problem is in terms of numbers. Usually people talk in numbers these days, like you should quantify literally everything. Then when you reach the solution for it, you need to make sure that whether it is implementable or not, that is an important part. And what impact does your solution creates? If your problem is around 50%, your solution might not uh, it completes for like 50%. It will affect 30% or 20% of the problem that you're facing. So, but you should make sure that you're showing it in numbers. That is the key there. I wouldn't say a unique challenge, but I feel that most of them, I think 90% of them, 90% of the interns face this challenge is the lack of resources. So initially, when I was given my first project, I had to like work with one of the platforms that they have, and I don't have the access for it, and it was like restricted for any intern to have the access for that particular platform. But I had to work on it, and I was not sure how I'm going to like proceed on it. So then I was shadowing, like there were multiple like there were investigators in in the team that I was working, and they had the access to it. So I had to like shadow them. I had to ask them. I had to learn like in within 1 or 2 weeks. I had to learn everything. I had to learn what they were like doing it for like past 2 years. Then I had to like shadow them. I had to find the like for finding the bottlenecks. I have to like explore multiple cases, and that is possible only if I like behind them, shadow them, and because I did not have the access to that particular website, like particular platform. So that was kind of challenging because even the other person has to like accommodate us because they have daily targets to like complete and stuff. But still, few of them really helped me to overcome that. I think I more than making one big contribution, I made multiple small contributions is what I feel. Uh, as I said, I worked on 3 different problem statements, but I didn't stop myself from that. I was actually working on few problem statements that were not even like in the scope of my team or my project. I was like I was like exploring about different technical issues and different HR issues, and I was like talking with my manager also about those HR issues and technical issues. Technical issues are something which our team doesn't engage in. We need support of some other team, but still I used to discuss with him. I used to like tell tell him about different HR issues, how the team can like progress and stuff. And I think which might have given me that additional push in converting a PPO maybe. I think my domain was in operations, but it was support operations, and but the entire nuance of it is general management. So the the main skills for you is to comprehend the problem. First of all, you have to identify what problem it is. Like whenever you get an like this is what I observed from other interns as well. Whenever you get a problem statement, most of them do not understand what the problem is about, and they waste a lot of time on working on something that they don't understand, or they must have misinterpreted it. So this is one issue that a lot of people like face. And one skill or the other skill would be the analytical approach. Nowadays everything run on numbers. Like if you're finding a problem, you have to know the size of the problem. If you're suggesting a solution, you have to know the impact of the solution, and everything should be measured numerically. Like you cannot abstractly, or you cannot, because if you keep it in terms of qualitative, it is subjective. A big problem may not be a big problem to your manager. So you have to like specify that problem is creating this much of impact. Like it's creating a negative impact on your revenue or your operational efficiency or whatever. So you have to come up with that exact number. Look, not exact number, but some number, and it should have the actual number, but it should have some background to whatever you're working. So once that number is decided, then like the managers would be even be motivated to work on that as well. Like when an intern is working on it. So yeah. And one more thing is, uh, yeah, one key thing is that you need to find, whenever you find a solution, you need to make sure that the solution is actionable. So initially, when I was suggesting a lot of ideas to my manager about one of the problem statements, he told me that it was a good solution, but to implement that particular solution, we need the help of other teams, and which is very difficult in Amazon or in case of any companies, because cross collaborative work usually takes a lot of time, and because of this we cannot delay our day to day operations. So he suggested me to go with ideas or solutions which our team can implement on. So I had to like revamp on my solutions or ideas. Then I had to come up with solutions which could be actioned by our team in particular. So these are few things, skills that you have to like keep in your mind. Okay. Uh, okay. So I think I made it clear. One thing is always run after numbers. Wherever you go, the first thing your superior would ask you is, what is the impact? Give me a number, and it cannot be subjective. So follow that methodology. And one thing is that I feel most of the managers are kind of busy because they're they are actually in good positions now, and they most of the time goes into their day-to-day operations. And I've seen my managers and the skip level managers how much work they have every day, and they have the pressure of their manager as well to finish the day-to-day operations. And in this busy time, they're trying to, this is an additional responsibility for them where they had to like deal with a intern. So make sure that whatever time you're getting, make sure that you're using it wisely. And one key thing is take regular feedbacks. Set up like weekly calls, or depends on your manager and you, like set up weekly feedbacks, or try to get as many feedbacks as possible so that your ideas get refined, and your manager knows the progress. That is the key. Then one thing is talk with a lot of people, because you don't know where you'll find the best ideas from, because you guys will be there in the internship for like 2 months, and the understanding you'll have will be much lesser than the other employees who've been working on that particular thing for like 2 3 years or more than that. So, and but their job is to not deal with the problems. Their job is to like focus on their day-to-day operations. So when you are like dealing with certain problem, and you're talking with them about it, they must have faced the same problem as well. So they can give you a different perspective about the problem. So this is what I was doing. I was talking with all the managers on the floor. So I was talking with all the investigators that part of the team. So it actually helped me to like refine my ideas. It gave me a new perspective on certain ideas and stuff, and which helped me to like come up with a final idea and solution. So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and all the best for your corporate journey.